everybody, Tim here for another MCU movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. Came out 2017, the fourth movie in Phase 3. So this movie was actually put out by Sony. That's why you can't get it from, like, Disney Plus and stuff like that. So, whatever. It is what it is. So, loved it. Thought it was great. The first, like, solo Spider-Man movie to come out since, like, the MCU. I mean, I love, don't get me wrong, I love the Sam Raimi trilogy. I love the Andrew Garfield duo movies. And this is what it is. Some people have complained that it relies too much on the MCU, the Avengers movies. I think that's fine. Like, who the fuck cares? It's part of a series. That's what it does. So I really liked it. This movie, I think it's kind of funny that some people have also complained that this is the first movie put out by Sony that is part of the MCU, and it really kind of fucks up the timeline. And people have come out and said, like, nope, I'm sorry, we messed up, just ignore that, it is what it is. Because, so the opening scene is right after the Avengers movie, where it's like the Battle of New York and everything's going on. The Department of Damage Control shows up. It is what it is. And then it says like 8 years later. It's not 8 years later. It's like 6 years later. And just like everything's kind of thrown off by that. So we get a lot of shout outs. Like the intro is the Spider-Man. It's fantastic. It's great to hear it again. We get a lot of character shout-outs, like Betty Brant is one of the news reporters in the school TV things. She's fantastic. For those who have read the comics, she's a long-time girlfriend of Spider-Man before Mary Jane. His best friend in this movie is Ned, not Genki, who he's completely ripped off of. And they actually make a reference to that. So for those who don't know, in the comic books, Miles Morales has a best friend named Genki. And even at one point, like, Genki's talking to, like, a girl, and he doesn't want to tell her who he is. And he's like, just call me Ned. Which is, then again, ripping off of this movie. So, I don't know why they couldn't. I don't know if Bendis, like, had to sign something and didn't. I don't know what the connection to that is. But clearly Ned is based off of Genki. We see Liz Allen is one of the main characters. Again, one of, like, Parker's longtime girlfriends in the comics. Short-time girlfriend in this one movie. But it's great. In the comics, Flash Thompson was a big, tough bully who would, like, mess with Parker. In this movie, to kind of update it for 2017, he's just a rich kid who can just make fun of Parker and doesn't matter because he's rich and Parker's poor. So that's what rich kids do. This is a lot of reference to the Avengers moving, which kind of puts it into perspective of, like, the Age of Ultron is when this movie kind of takes place. Because that's when they go from Stark Tower to the Avengers, like, upstate New York. So if you're going to watch them in chronological order, move this up to, like, Age of Ultron. It's fine. It is what it is. But at the same time, they have, like, the Captain America videos, which I love the gym teacher, where he's like, I'm pretty sure he's a war criminal now. I don't know. Which is a reference to Civil War. So, again, like, it's between Ultron and Civil War at this point. Because, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Donald Glover shows up. He's a great actor. Fantastic. He plays Aaron Davis, who is Miles Morales' uncle. So I loved that. And he even says, he's like, I have a nephew that lives in the States. So loved that. Thought that was a great little reference. The Shockers show up. Once Peter gets control of the suit, Karen, the suit lady, is voiced by Jennifer Connelly, who I've had a crush on my entire life. And, I mean, most people probably from The Labyrinth. I mean, she's in Beautiful Mind. She's been in so much stuff. She's the voice of, or she's the wife of Paul Bettany, who is Jarvis, a.k.a. Vision. So that's fantastic. I absolutely love seeing her. She's great. The fairy explosion scene is good, but it reminded me too much of the Raimi movies with like him trying to stop the train and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. It felt too much for me until Iron Man showed up and he's like, way to go, Spider-Man. I was like, okay, no, never mind. You're part of the MCU. I get it. When we find out that Vulture is Liz's dad, boom! Once again, I've talked about this in other movies where it does not have to be like the comics to be a good movie. Clearly, Liz Allen's dad is not the Vulture in the comics. They do a fucking amazing job. And like, as soon as like the look on Peter's face was the look on my face. I thought he did a fantastic job. And I love Michael Keaton so much. He's such a good actor that the whole thing was really, really well done. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. A lot of people complained about Michelle, and she's like, just call me MJ. Clearly it's a reference to Mary Jane, but still, like, I'm fine with, like, Michelle. I'm fine with them changing it up. Like, they never say Ben, like Uncle Ben. They never say Mary Jane. Like, make it your own. I'm fine with it, as long as it's a good story. The final scene really caught me off guard. Like, I remember seeing it in theaters with my husband, and where Pepper comes out. And I'm like, oh my God! Because you haven't seen Pepper since, like, Iron Man 3. And especially after, like, Ultron, where they wrote out Pepper, and they wrote out Jane, and they wrote out all these characters. I was like, so Gwyneth Paltrow's just done with this role. And when she comes out, and he's like, do you have that ring? And Happy's like, are you kidding? I've had this ring since, like, 2008, which is when Iron Man came out. I was like, yes! Like, it was a fantastic reference. So I was so excited to see Pepper again. I was so happy to see the family together. So I absolutely loved it. I mean, for a Spider-Man MCU movie, I really enjoyed it. I thought Tom Holland did great. I thought all the characters did great. Had a lot of fun. I hope to see Michael Keaton again. We'll see, with a little post-credit scene with him and Scorpion. For those who have seen it, what do you guys think? Go ahead, let me know so we can talk about it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you guys next time for Thor Ragnarok.